Bucks, and I've actually been fairly impressed with the Bucks lately. Like,
Mhm.
they're one of those teams, which is it's crazy that it's only been like 1 year of the Clippers, but and only 2 or 3 of the Bucks. And I think the Bucks stuff is more excusable than the Clippers last year. Like, I don't think the Clippers had to win the finals last year, but like for them to blow that 3-1 lead is pretty unexcusable. But
No,
moving
I feel
to
like they had to put up a really good fight to get there, though. I feel like or to lose, I feel like they had to really. I just feel like they really, we all know they underperformed. That's for sure.
right, and it seemed like they gave up a little bit at the end. But with the Bucks, I've really liked, PJ Tucker. Like, he hasn't been scoring yet, but you didn't really get him for scoring. He got him for defense, and Giannis has been outstanding quietly. He's putting up better numbers almost than last year, but he's not winning it 3 years in a row, even though he's been insane. And Drew Holiday has been out of this world these last 2 months. And Middleton's just been solid. That's just what he is. And I've defensively, we got on them, but they've looked better switching wise. They're guarding the 3-point line better. Their defensive efficiency and rating has gone. They're back up to top 5, which they've been the last couple of years. And have you been impressed with them lately, or you still got to see it in the playoffs?
You know what, though? I've been impressed, honestly. The reason I've been impressed, though, is because they haven't been playing good. But the thing is, though, I feel like they're only going to get better. The more PJ Tucker, and they just signed Jeff T, which is, I feel like, was great for them, he's a solid 3-and-D player, in my opinion, or at least just really good defensively, at least, for a point guard. But yeah, honestly, I really do like this team. Because if we have a lineup such as Giannis at center, PJ Tucker, Chris Middleton, like Dante DiVincenzo, for example, Drew Holiday, first of all those guys, they're really, really good, at least on the defensive side of the ball, okay? And they can be at least serviceable on offense, at the bare minimum, serviceable. And so I feel like this is great, honestly. And going against the Nets, I feel like this team, they're probably the team, honestly, that can give the Nets the most issues,
I'm glad you brought that up, because I was just about to say, I don't think people would, I think a lot of people would be surprised with this, but I think the Bucks pose a bigger threat to the Nets than the 76ers do, in my opinion. Like, I think Embiid would eat in that series. Like, he would put up 40, but I just don't think the 76ers can score with the Nets. Maybe defensively they might be all right, but with the Bucks, they at least have so many guys to throw at these guys, and I think they can score offensively with them.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel way better about these Bucks teams in the last couple of years, and they're still young.
Definitely, yeah.
Like, I like the idea and the ability of Drew Holiday. Like, he's gonna score in big moments. He's granted, he hasn't been in that many playoff series, but in the one that he was in, the 1 or 2, he was outstanding. Like, he was awesome. Middleton, I don't think, has been the worst playoff performer, neither is Giannis. And I think having shooters around him, hopefully DiVincenzo, he had a horrendous bubble, but I've been impressed this year offensively and defensively. He was there last year, so I like the idea of that. PJ Tucker, he could shoot it, so I at least like the spacing around Giannis. And at the end of the day, I like this Bucks team. I don't think that they come out of the East this year necessarily, but if they did, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, what you were saying about Drew Holiday, yes, he will do all that stuff, but the thing is, though, he's also going to average like 6 assists, which is really good, Another thing, too, though, is that when he was doing that against, at the time, the greatest offensive team ever, and I feel like he's just going to go against arguably the greatest offensive team again. So I feel like I really don't feel like much will change, because, I feel like Kyrie isn't really better than Steph Curry defensively. It's hard to tell, but, I feel like he will be fine. But the thing I think it's not really being considered, though, is that this is from quotes from Kevin Durant, but, he was asked, like, who's one of the greater, like, defenders ever, though, and he was like, he mentioned defensive player, all-time great defense guys and all that, but he mentioned Drew Holiday. Like, he said Drew Holiday has to be on that list, and that he isn't, because people don't really see him play that much, because Kevin Durant knows how good he is defensively. And when they asked who's the best defender in the league or whatever, though, Kevin Durant said PJ Tucker's hacking us, and now the Bucks got both of them.
Yeah, that's a big deal. They're super switchable. They can pretty much switch anyone on anyone with that lineup. Besides DiVincenzo, you might worry about but if he gets like a possession on Durant, like it's not the end of the world because Durant can score on anyone. Like Drew Holiday was guarding Durant the whole game in the regular season a couple months back when they were playing them, and like, you know, Durant's gonna get his, but like Drew Holiday made it super hard on him. So
Yeah,
I just like
even
the idea of that.
Pelicans versus Warriors a few years ago, though, Drew Holiday did an incredible job guarding him, you know, and he's a 6'3", 6'4" guard, you know. And so now not only can you throw Giannis, you can throw Middleton, you can throw Holiday, you can throw PJ Tucker. Those 4 guys at Kevin Durant the entire game.
The best part too about this is Giannis can go back to playing free safety. Like he can just go run around, block shots, you know, jump passing lanes and whatnot.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So I think
I feel like he'll make it so hard for Kyrie and James Harden to really, you know, drive inside.
I think this is the best thing for the Bucks is for them maybe not to be the 1 seed and have all the pressure on them, but they're quietly going to go into the playoffs like as a really hot team that's really got it going, and it's going to be really scary. And the media, you know, they're not going to pick up on it until they're like in the Eastern Conference Finals, in my opinion.
Yeah, and you know what though, this is a great year for them. First of all, there's no team that can make the wall to stop Giannis, you know, which is great. And the team that could potentially make the wall, the 76ers, that would have no effect because once you go back on the other side of the ball, you just don't guard Ben Simmons, you know.
And then let's move on to the last Eastern Conference team that I have some thoughts on. The Nets. So they're 17-3 without Kevin Durant, and everything that I've heard, you know, obviously just reading, not sources or anything, but it seems like they're just being safe with him, you know, precautious, which I think is a good idea. So I'm not really concerned with him because it would be we'll see. I'm just not concerned with the injury. I think he'll be back soon, and it's if those 3 are healthy, good luck, in my opinion. In the East, you know, we'll see what happens in the finals and whatnot, but with those 3 and the collection that they have now, that's pretty scary. And I think even defensively, they've been a bit better lately. And honestly, Kyrie's been fine in the playoffs defensively, and we'll see I don't think Durant will be the same player he was defensively, because like in those Warriors runs, he was like borderline elite defensively, in my opinion. I think if you can just get good or great defense from Kevin Durant, you'll be happy. Harden isn't the worst defender, honestly, when he wants to be and tries, and you're just switching. Claxton's been outstanding. You know, Bruce Brown, Blake Griffin, Jeff Green. I think everyone besides LaMarcus Aldridge, he'll be fine defensively. So I don't really worry about them as much defensively. I feel like that's kind of a lazy take, in my opinion.
I think one thing that made Kevin Durant so good is the fact that, because in my opinion, Draymond Green is the best all-defensive team defender, ever. And you really saw that with Kevin Durant. Because once Kevin Durant went to the Warriors, though, Draymond did not let him slip up at all, though. Because Draymond would just... it's amazing how in a few seconds, like microseconds, Draymond can just tell Kevin Durant what he has to do, where he has to go, like it's nothing, you know? And Kevin Durant would just do it, you know? And the results were absolutely amazing. So I hope he's kept some of that. You know, they don't really have a guy like that, honestly, on the Nets team that can alert guys and do whatever. You know, but you know, I don't know. I just hope Kevin Durant, stays with a lot of that stuff, though. You know, because if he doesn't, then that'll just be great for them. And Kyrie, you know. The only times I've really seen him slip up like a lot was like with the Celtics, you know. But yeah, you know, and that'll be fine though. And James Harden, you know, like you said, he's definitely at least okay. But I feel like his only problem is just might be offensively, because we know in the playoffs though he'll have a few games that are like kind of bad.
I heard actually a good analogy that I liked. I think that the Nets should be compared to the Chiefs, where it should just be a bend don't break type of defense, because if they have it going offensively, good luck. No one's matching what they can do offensively.
Yeah.
And I think that they can do that in the regular season. Like, for the Trailblazers, I don't think that's the greatest recipe, just because, like, you know, Dame and CJ and what they have is great, but no one matches the three of Kyrie, James Harden, and Kevin Durant, arguably three of the best scorers all time.
Yeah.
You know, so especially ISO, they can all just kill you. And like I've been saying, I'm not worried about James Harden in the playoffs, because there's been such a load on him in Houston. I know he had Chris Paul, but even then, there was a load on him to be the scorer, and he's not the scorer now. You know, he's been a great facilitator his whole career, but more than anything now, he's the facilitator.
No, yeah, that's definitely true. You know, but I just hope things go well, because honestly, though, like we're talking about the Bucks and stuff, it's like Kyrie's really good, but Kyrie has never really faced just, you know, a great lockdown elite defender, you know. And Drew Holiday, I feel like Drew Holiday, he could be that Kyrie stopper. You know, it's because Kyrie, we all know Kevin Durant is in a whole different league, you know, when it comes to scoring than Kyrie, though. And Drew Holiday's task with guarding Kyrie, though, I feel like, you know, he could definitely slow him down a lot, though. So I don't know, I feel like we just gotta hope this Nets team really just, you know, because with Kevin Durant being out, though, you know, you kind of lose that building of team chemistry, you know, and so I just hope that works out for them.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see matchup wise how the Bucks decide to, you know, how they decide to do that, because they can go so many different ways with it, and they can change throughout the series. So it'll be fun to see how that goes. I hope that series happens, if it's round 2 or Eastern Conference Finals or whenever it is.
No, yeah, for sure. You know, I feel like you have to hope they play their best defense, and you gotta hope they start DeAndre Jordan. You know.
Yeah, no kidding. I did see a report, and he has been playing less. Like, he might start the game just to keep, you know, him happy, because, you know, he's Durant and Kyrie's buddy and whatnot. And, you know, he's not the worst in the regular season. You can just put him in the dunker spot, and he can get, you know, 8 dunks and puts up 8 points and 10 rebounds. And if you look at the box score, 8 points, 10 rebounds, and 1 block, you know, that's pretty good. But if you're watching, it's a bit rough defensively. So, yeah, you just better hope he's out there.
No, it's very rough. You know, it's like you gotta hope. I don't know. You just gotta hope they play LaMarcus, and you gotta hope they play DeAndre Jordan, and even have Blake Griffin in there. You gotta hope, honestly, that he kind of stays, because none of those guys really are like, at least not anymore, like all that defensively, you know. And that's a really good way to go at them, is inside, you know. And Kevin Durant, you know, we all know Kevin Durant is not a bad defender at all, but if you're on him in the post and you're, you know, a Giannis, Joel Embiid, it's pretty good for you. You know, you'll definitely score.
Oh yeah, like I think Embiid and Giannis could have a massive series. It's just, are you going to be able to match what they're going to do, or be able to stop them? And like, at the end of the day, I think the Bucks have a way better shot than the 76ers. So
yeah,
that's my hope, is it's Bucks Nets Eastern Conference Finals, or we see them at least in the semis.